Today we're going to be doing Lesson 7, adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying negative numbers. I would like to also introduce Andrew the Ninja. He will be helping me with a lot of math problems. Hello! Let's look at a couple problems. Example 1. Say we're adding 2 plus negative 1. Now to do this, you might want to start off with making a number line. So first we're going to start with the negative 1. On the number line. So negative 1 is going to be starting right here. And then it says we're going to add 2 to it. So we're going to go 2 places up towards the positive side. So if we go 2 places up, 1, 2, we're at positive 1. So first thing you want to do, draw your number line. Start off at the most negative number that we have is negative 1. Then go up how much it tells you to. In this case, it's a 2. And Andrew the Ninja would agree. Oh, what happened? Come on, Andrew. Where'd he go? As you can see here, Andrew destroyed my number line. But in any case, you start off at negative 1 and you move 2 places. 1, 2, because of the plus 2. So the answer to this would be 1. So it'd be a positive 1. Example number 2. So let's do negative 7 plus 3. Start off at the more negative number, which would be negative 7. And now you're adding 3 to it, so move 3 places up more positive. Starting at negative 7, you have negative 6 is 1, negative 5 is 2, and negative 4 is 3. So we're going to end up at negative 4. So your answer would be negative 4. Example number 3, say we have negative 2 plus another negative. So in this case, we're going to adding 2 negatives together. I just make these brackets around this so we don't get confused that this is a negative number being added to another negative number. So draw the number line. In this case, go with the most negative number, which would be negative 3. Since we're adding a negative number to it, we're going more negative. So we're going to the left. So move it 2 spaces to the left. So you end up at negative 5. So negative 3, 1 space, 2 space, and negative 5. So that would be our final answer. Example number 4. So when you're adding any negative number to 0, it will just stay the same. So your answer to this negative 4 plus 0 would just be negative 4. And that would be your final answer. Right, Andrew?
No, I don't think that's correct, Jacob. I think it's wrong.
So, example number 5. Let's do the shortcut way without doing the number lines. All you have to do is take the absolute value of both numbers. So the absolute value of negative 2 would be 2. And the absolute value of negative 3 would be 3. And so all you have to do is add those absolute values together. So you have 2 plus 3 would equal 5. But since you're adding 2 negative numbers together, you just add a negative to your answer. This only works if you have 2 negatives being added. And don't forget to put the negative sign in your answer. Example number 6, what if you're adding a negative number to a positive number without using the number line? So we have negative 1 plus 3. Well, the same thing. You just take the absolute values of both numbers. Now this time, you're going to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Once you do that, you just do the subtraction. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So your answer will be 2. So let's recap what we did. We have a negative number being added to a positive number. Take the absolute value of both. Subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Then you get your answer. You don't have to change your answer. That's just what it is. Now if you did the number line, let's look at that and see if we can get the same answer. Let's start off with the negative 1 because it's the greatest negative. Move 3 places more positive. So you have 1, 2, 3. And your answer is 2. So it seems to work out just fine. So let's recap. If you're adding 2 negative numbers, just take the absolute value of them, then take those absolute values and add them together, then put in your negative sign at the end. Then if you're adding a negative number to a positive number, take the absolute values of them, and then subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Example 7, what if you're multiplying negative numbers? Say we have this, for example, negative 1 times negative 1. Well, the rule that you have to memorize is if you have 2 negative numbers, they become a positive number. So if you have a negative number here, another negative number over here, and you're multiplying them, they become positive. So you can think of this as 2 of the same thing is a good thing, so it's positive. So what would be the answer for this? These 2 negative numbers would become positive in your answer. So you just take it, negative 2 times negative 2, which is equal 4. So 2 of the same kind, so negative and negative are the same kind, you're going to get something positive. Example number 9. Say we have two positives together, so a positive 1 and a positive 1. I just wrote the positive in there. Those are usually not written, but just in this case, I can just show you. So 2 of the same kind, it's going to become positive. So your answer would be a positive 1. Okay, example number 10. Now, we're going to be doing a negative and a positive together. What would this turn out to be? So you have a negative number times a positive number. So 2 of the different or opposite, they come out to be a bad thing. So when you have opposites together, they come out to be bad. So let's look at an example. So negative 3 times 4. You have a negative here and a positive here, so you're going to get a negative answer. So you get 12, but it's a positive and a negative, so you get a negative. These are just rules that you have to remember, and that is your answer. So let's do one more. What would happen if we have 3 negatives in our equation? So we have a negative 3 multiplied by a negative 4 multiplied by a negative 2. So the first thing you do is just multiply 2 of them. And since we have a negative and a negative, they're the same kind, they're going to come out something positive. So you're going to get a 12, a positive 12, multiplied by the negative 2 we got to bring down. So now we have a positive times a negative. 2 opposite things, we're going to get a negative number. So we're going to get a negative 24. And that's our answer. So let's do a recap. So if you're adding a negative number to another negative number, you just take the absolute values of them, and then you add the 2 absolute values together, and then put in your negative sign at the end. Then if you're adding a negative number to a positive number, take the absolute values and subtract the smaller one from the bigger one, and that should be your answer. And then when you're multiplying 2 negatives together, since they're the same, you're going to come out with a positive number. And if you're multiplying 2 positive numbers, they're the same, so they're going to come out positive. And if you're multiplying a negative and a positive, 2 opposites, you're going to come out with a negative number. Andrew would like to remind you that you should subscribe for our channel and leave a comment below, and also give us a like. And thank you for watching. You can find all of our videos on mymathmanual.com.